How are you not freaking out?
Weird. Yeah, I want to watch
we
it
caught
again
actual
later.
evidence, Joe.
Yes,
We did it.
We did it. We're the best. We're the best ghost hunters.
I'm serious, though. Is that not one of the creepiest things you've ever seen?
That is weird. It's very weird.
Okay. Oh. Wait, start it over.
We gotta let it run.
Kona's just graced us with her presence.
Hashtag blessed.
Kona.
Where'd she go?
She's smelling.
Oh.
Hello. Hello, Cinder Smelly. Wow.
There she is.
Okay. Hey, everyone. Welcome back.
Welcome back finally to the Illinois episode.
Oh,
Long overdue Illinois episode.
Well, are we going to talk about how we can't spell every single intro?
Yes.
So,
In case you haven't noticed, if you look, we were trying to do an alphabetical order
Yeah.
episodes, right, of the states. Boom, boom, boom.
boom, boom, boom.
Boom, boom, boom. And then after Hawaii, we jumped all the way to Iowa, which is not after Hawaii in the states list. And then we said, oh, we're going to correct it. And we're going to go to a little anger there. One bark. Okay. Couple lifts as she leaves the room. We went to Idaho, right? I think those were in the right order. We went Hawaii, Idaho.
I can't remember anymore.
I don't know. We went way out of
No,
order.
we went Iowa first.
Oh, so
we
Hawaii
went
to
immediately
Iowa.
to Iowa.
And Idaho. And then we're like, oh, let's correct now. We're back on track. Illinois next. And then we did Indiana. And now here we are at Illinois. Finally.
Finally.
We apologize
Jeez.
to our family in Chicago.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, Illinois.
Where were we?
I have 2.5.
And half.
How many
Okay. I
do you
got
have?
2.
Okay.
And I think one's probably going to relate to yours.
Okay.
So I want that one to go after yours.
Okay.
So I'll do my short one first, if that makes sense. I like it.
We're back.
We're back. All right. So my first one, I started with like some folklore.
Folklore.
Yeah. As I'm doing these research, that's what I'm really finding. I enjoy the folklore stories.
Okay.
There's kind of like local legends,
Okay.
like the two canal or the two, one was canal related last week, but anyway, more folklore. So we're talking about the Witch of Chesterville.
Ooh, Chesterville.
Chesterville. Yes. Let me show you her grave and we'll put it up on the screen here. But
Whoa,
it is
what a
about,
lovely grave.
yes. As you will note, there is a tree in the middle of the grave
Yeah.
and then an iron fence around that.
Love
Correct.
it.
Correct. Okay, cool. That's important. So
Is the ghost a tree?
the ghost is not a tree.
Dang it.
I don't want to ruin it yet.
Okay.
I'll tell you what.
Okay.
But it's intimately
spoilers.
involved. Intimately involved.
Okay.
Okay. So, so yes, the story comes from Chesterville. It's not a city or that's like on the maps anymore. It's more of like a small village. I think more of like a roadside place. It's deep in like Amish Mennonite territory.
Okay.
So highly religious area, not like a lot of, infrastructure. But it's like there's a general story and then like there's 3 different versions of the story. But the general pattern is 1850s to 1900 lady, some sort of witchcraft, dies somehow. And then is now trapped there. That's the general story.
Okay.
So in version 1, and I want you to tell me which one you think is the most likely to be true or the closest to the truth,
Okay.
if there is any truth at all.
Okay. Is there a right answer?
No, absolutely not.
Oh, okay.
I'm just
perfect.
curious because I have an opinion
Okay.
and I want yours.
Okay.
So version 1, around 1900, a woman sort of just kind of spontaneously confesses to being a witch and having communed with Satan and to doing witchcraft
Okay.
in front of her highly religious, like very insular religious community.
Mm-hmm.
So shortly thereafter, like about a week later, she winds up dead in a farm field.
Mm-hmm.
And they never investigate the death and they just bury her and move on. Presumably because everybody in the community kind of knew what was what happened. So there's no need to investigate it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Got it.
Version 2, mid 1850 or mid 1800s, around like 1850. You have a young teen woman who's like rebelling against her religion. She doesn't really seemingly buy into the whole Amish lifestyle or community or something like that. And so she's openly questioning the teachings of the faith. And the community is very offended by her. And some arguments happen. So like basically like people are trying to stand up for her, like, you know what I mean? Like don't give up on her kind of a thing. But if she eventually starts getting blamed for witchcraft, for weird things happening, like, you know, they accuse her of stuff. She ends up getting convicted or tried, convicted, and then hung.
Okay.
For witchcraft.
Okay.
Which I don't think is actually a law on the books. So it's like,
okay.
I don't know how that happens, but I mean, it's I think it's much more of a community based.
Yeah. I don't think it's a question. Yeah.
Version 3, a lady in the mid 1800s was a well-known healer in the area. And she would use like local fauna, you know, plants and stuff to make her remedies. Somebody prominent in the community died mysteriously, which I imagine in the mid 1800s in a rural community means anything that isn't obvious, like getting kicked in the head by a horse or something.
Yeah.
But naturally, what do they do when someone dies unexpectedly? What would you expect?
Blame the witch.
They blame the witch. So they accuse her of murder, of witchcraft, and then kill her. So which one makes most sense to you?
I have my own theory.
Oh, okay. Let's hear it.
That she was just different. And so they're like, she's a witch.
Get her out of here.
Kill her.
Get this witch out of here.
I literally think that's what it is.
It could be. It definitely could be.
That she was just like, I don't love your religion. I'm going to be my own. Oh, she's a witch.
Sounds mostly aligned with number 2, which was like questions to faith, therefore witch, kill her.
Yes, I agree. I don't think it's the first one.
Okay.
I think that
just
that's
like
what people said happened.
Yes.
Is the first one.
Okay.
Like but she told us she was a witch.
Guys,
she admitted it.
She promised she was a witch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think I could also believe the mix of the second and the third. Okay. And that she wasn't a strong believer and something bad happened. And so they blamed her for it.
Okay.
And then they called her a witch. Man, what?
I hold the same belief as you.
Yeah.
I'm mostly aligned with number 2.
Okay.
Where it's like probably somebody questioning the faith, therefore demons, and kill them. Yeah. That was my general thought.
Yeah.
So, okay. So we fast forward to today. You saw the picture?
What is it doing?
I don't know what it is doing. Is there something she's trying to get to?
Hello. We love you. Okay.
She's going to knock stuff over. Okay.
Yep. Okay. Continue with your story.
Fast forward to today. Because there's no headstone, they don't actually know who this person was. And there's no real like evidence around what happened at all. So it's mostly just speculation about the grave. The tree was planted on top of her grave. It's believed because she was a witch to trap her spirit with the roots.
Oh, interesting.
So once the tree dies, she's free.
Okay.
That's the idea. Kind of like, I assume, oh shoot, what's that? The Three Witches, the Disney movie with the cat.
The Sanderson sisters?
Yes. Yeah. Once a tree dies, she rises like a Sanderson sister. Is in my head what's going to happen.
Okay. Okay. Has nothing to do with trees. Nothing to do with that at all. Okay. Yeah.
And then another idea is that the fence, the wrought iron fence, traps her because iron repels ghosts. So it's like a cage for her, like a double cage.
I believe it's a double cage.
Double cage.
That's cool.
We know from Supernatural that iron is very effective.
That's true. They sprinkle a salt border around there too.
And they carry iron sticks and they hit the ghosts and they disappear. But yeah, so that's the idea around the grave.
Wow.
People report to see her spirit kind of like lingering right around her grave, like right on top of it.
This is like a pretty intense grave situation for someone that did nothing wrong but was just like a witch. Were they burying all of the witches like this?
No.
Or okay.
That's like the last thing I'm going to talk about.
Okay.
Yeah. Because you raise a good point.
Yeah.
You have some.
It's a little excessive.
It's a little excessive. Yes. What in the world is that?
I hope the audio is picking this up.
Last week was me sneezing every 5 seconds, and this week it's
This is a mess. Okay. Just continue. She's never going to stop.
Is it the wind?
Yeah, it's the wind.
Oh, okay. Kona.
It's okay. Continue.
Okay. So anyway, yes, people see her spirit on the tree, you know what I mean? Basically trapped there. And then they also see stuff like, where they report that markings will like show up on the tree, like she's trying to get out. And then others on paranormal like websites that I've seen. So like these are like people that are investigators. Mm-hmm. They point out it doesn't really make sense that they would bury like a town witch in like the community's religious cemetery.
Yeah. Yeah. Why would they bury her at all? Wouldn't they like just like burn her body in a ditch and then?
That's what they say. They probably just like bury her like in an unmarked area.
Yeah.
And being like out like exiled kind of a thing, like disgrace. So it doesn't really make sense she'd be in there.
Right.
Maybe she comes from like a powerful family. So the family's like, no, she has to be here. But we can trap her. I don't know. I thought it was a cool story.
You can trap her, but you have to bury her.
Yes. She has to be in the family plot, but trap her.
You can entomb her forever. Yes. Got it. That seems legit.
Yep. That was my first one. I thought it was a cool story.
Cool.
Yeah. I like these ones.
I like it.
Yeah.
That was a good one. Okay. My next one is, okay, so I realize it's a little less ghosty as I was reading into it, but it is what it is. We're going to talk about it. It is the murder house.
The murder house.
You all know the murder house. We all know the murder house.
We've all been there.
It's in Chicago. It's the murder house. So if you don't know, H.H. Holmes, serial killer during the late 19th century. So he was one of America's first documented serial killers. So it was said that the doctor Henry Howard Holmes, H.H. Holmes, designed a 3-story building in the Inglewood neighborhood of Chicago. It was like officially, quote unquote, a hotel to like support the World's Fair that was happening at the time. So the World's Fair was in 1893. It was in Chicago to celebrate the 400th anniversary of Columbus's arrival to the New World. So this was like a huge international event that was all about like new technology, cool architecture, like Ferris wheels, arts, culture. It was like a big deal. And so H.H. Holmes was said to have built this hotel and lured guests to this hotel for the World's Fair and just ended up killing them.
I would like to plug a video game that we played together. It's like a cooperative game.
Okay.
Remember the Dark Anthology? I looked up the title. It's called The Devil in Me, but like basically Dark Anthology is like a horror video game, like story kind of.
I totally forgot about this, but those are great.
They're great games. And so it's like the only games we really play.
Yeah.
But because you switch between characters. So like you each take turns playing a character for like a 5 or 10 minute chunk, hand it off to the next person. You can play with like, I don't know, like up to like 4 to 6 people.
Yeah.
So it makes it really fun for like a group thing.
Was there one on this?
Yeah. Remember the H.H. Holmes one?
No.
It was called The Devil in Me. It was like a guy like trying, I don't want to ruin this. I don't want to spoil it, but it's centered around the story of H.H. Holmes.
Oh my gosh, I don't even remember
that. Remember that
I
one?
just remember the zombies or something on the ship.
Oh yeah, that one. That was the first one we played.
That's the only one I remember.
I think we played 3 of them. There was the zombies one, like the ancient Sumerian one.
Oh my gosh, I forget.
And then there was that one. Anyway,
interesting.
Yeah.
But anyways.
Very good video game. We'll replay it.
Hotel turned death trap. So there's a lot of like lore around what this building was. The news kind of went crazy with it when this started coming out. And so a lot of what the truth was actually exaggerated. So it was originally said like in the news at the time to have like soundproof rooms, gas chambers, secret passageways, trapdoors, hidden staircases, like everything. But as I was like doing some more research into the validity of this, apparently like a lot of that was fake.
Oh, I'm not going to say it's a bummer because it's like murder, but like that was my understanding of the situation.
I know,
too.
Me too. We went on a Ghosts and Gangsters tour in Chicago, and they talked about this. So I was like, oh, it must be true that there's like a crazy like elevator or like hallway situation that they would dump bodies down in the basement. There was like this whole thing about it. But it was that, chutes that would slide the bodies down into the basement for disposal.
I do remember them talking about that.
Yeah, that part was really crazy to me. It supposedly had like a crematorium, like acid vats, and dissection tables.
Lord.
So anyways, the media really took this out of proportion. And apparently what it actually was, it was just a 2-story building. Mm-hmm. And it was apartments up top and then like stores down below, like a drugstore type deal. That's apparently what it actually was.
Was there chutes?
I don't think there was body chutes.
Oh, okay.
Maybe.
It's crazy that the exaggeration from like the 1800s is still like what my understanding of the situation is.
Yeah, I know.
From, like,
I literally,
tabloids,
I didn't know that any of this was not real until I was doing research for this particular thing. I was like, oh, this is going to be super interesting. I can talk about this house. And then I was like doing some more research and I was like, oh, well, this is a bummer. Everything is fake, but I'm going to include it anyways because it's interesting that all of that is fake.
We'll keep going like it is true.
Yeah. But he did kill people though. He was an actual serial killer. So I think there's only like 2 deaths for which he was like convicted of maybe.
Like admitted ones or something?
No. Oh. So that he charged with, I don't know the correct legal term.
Yeah, that's right.
But he apparently confessed to 27 murders.
So there's some possibility that he's inflating his numbers for.
Yes. However, estimates suggest that the real number is like close to 200.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. When I say like estimated, it means that he didn't confess. For these other 173 or whatever. He didn't confess. He wasn't like charged with it at all. But there was a lot of evidence suggesting that he had something to do with it.
Like people who went missing around that time period in the area.
Or last seen with him. Or their, I don't know, I'm making stuff up. But like a piece of their clothing was found near him. Something that like suggests that he did it. But not enough to like charge him with it.
I know there's like a lot of people going in and out of the fair, like millions of people, but 200 is still like a lot of like, you imagine that's like 1 a day for almost, you know what I mean?
Which is why this story like went crazy.
Yeah.
And what's interesting about this too, is that he was not caught for any of the murders that he did. Oh, he was caught on insurance fraud.
Oh, well, that's like, well, the thing he's like, come on.
Yeah. So while he was being investigated for insurance fraud, they found out about this whole murder castle and all of the deaths associated with that, which is really crazy. So they ended up probably for the 2 that he was convicted of, but he was hanged in 1896.
Okay.
But unfortunately, the murder castle mysteriously caught fire and was destroyed a couple years later.
Oh, I wonder. A little suspicious.
Yeah. But they were like, let's make the most of it, the government. And so in the 1930, they built a post office, which
cheap land
exists today.
Is it haunted?
Yes.
Oh. Cool.
Yes, duh. The post office is haunted.
It has to be with that kind of
post offices are scary places. Don't you know this? So the workers do say that it's haunted. There's a couple different types of hauntings that occur there. Obviously, the hauntings have to do with everyone who was murdered there, all the horrible. I don't know what's true and what's not true. It's kind of hard to tell. But in summary, this guy's a crazy serial killer that would lure people for the World's Fair and kill them in one way or another.
Complete psycho.
Yeah. Yep. So there has been reports of apparitions. So the postal workers report sightings of like a woman wandering the premises. You guessed it, a lady in white wandering the premises.
Hit that button. There we go. We got her.
I did it. Lady in white. As well as a ghostly figure of a man believed to be Holmes himself.
Oh.
Yeah.
They should arrest his ghost.
Yeah.
Ghost jail.
What if there's ghost police?
Ghost police. If
there's a paranormal coordinator, there must be ghost police.
I've seen Beetlejuice. Well. There's ghost police.
He's dressed in a characteristic bowler hat and black boots. So in addition to the actual apparitions, it's also said that there's auditory phenomena. Disembodied humming, singing, screams have been heard echoing through the building. Can you imagine like working here You're just like a post office worker and you see like a ghost and like screams in the distance. You're like, okay,
like, I hate
this is fun. So yeah, I don't get paid enough for this.
Can I transfer, please?
But it said that a lot of this occurs particularly in the basement area.
Okay.
And it said that there's a wall in the basement, like a foundational wall that is the original one from the murder house.
Interesting.
Yeah. So that particular area is haunted because there's actually still part of the original building. Another one that I really like is that there's like animal interactions.
Oh.
Apparently dogs become visibly agitated and refuse to approach the building.
Oh, because they know that freaking H.H. Holmes goes.
Yeah, they're like, do not take me there.
Kona would be like, no, thank you.
Right? And then there's like the regular, chairs moving, things moving on their own, objects being like floating, things like that. So a lot of the classic haunts there. But it's crazy that like, even though the original building is gone and maybe this one foundational wall exists, that's enough to keep the ghosts like tied to the land.
Mm-hmm. That's interesting.
Yeah. So that's my first one.
That's a good one.
My second one, if you've made it this far and you'd like to keep listening, my second one, spoiler, has real personally captured evidence.
Oh, really? Personally captured?
I'm being serious.
I'm very confused.
We captured actual ghost evidence.
We did?
That I'm going to share at the end of this podcast.
Oh, excellent. I'm
Stay
confused
tuned.
By this. I'm excited because I don't even know what that is.
Yeah,
apparently.
no, I'm telling you, it's for real.
All right. All right.
Go ahead.
I'm going to pick up with the Congress Plaza Hotel, the famous Plaza Hotel.
We've been there.
We have pictures.
Pictures
around.
Ooh, I was during COVID, so that's why we're wearing masks.
Yeah.
But pictures.
Very, very beautiful hotel.
Yes.
Historic. I guess like 8 presidents have stayed there.
Yeah.
Like it's a big deal. Let's see here. So, Plaza Hotel. It was a huge hotel, 871 rooms, not 10,000. We were listening to a
Epic Universe
podcast.
Let's turn this into an Epic Universe video.
Vlog coming soon. But we were listening. They were talking about the new hotel that's attached to the theme park,
Helios,
and we thought they said that it was a 10,000 room hotel. We're like, that is a
I think
huge
they meant
hotel.
like across all of their like Lowe's properties.
Yes,
but
or like maybe in Orlando. I don't know, but like I was like 10,000 rooms in one hotel. That seems crazy. But watch us be wrong. Like that's actually right. But anyway, it was built in 1893 to accommodate visitors to the World's Fair. Let's see. I have some history about that, but we just talked about it. The one thing I did want to add is because you talked about how it was like a showcase of like technology and blah, blah, blah. But like, yeah, it was like truly impactful. Like it shaped the world we live in today in a way. Cause like, remember that movie we saw like when we first started dating, it was called The War of the Currents.
Nope.
Oh, so it was like the initial like technological war between Westinghouse and Tesla, who did like the AC current, and then Edison, who did DC current.
Yes.
And like the battle to supply power to the World's Fair.
I remember.
Yes. Like showcased the victory of AC power because it's way better for that type of situation. Anyway, so if you like a good Benedict Cumberbatch movie, I suggest that movie.
Was he in it?
Yeah, I think he played Edison.
Oh, I don't remember that.
Yeah. And I think the guy who played what was that Nicolas Cage vampire movie? Renfield?
Yes.
The guy who played Renfield, I think played it Tesla.
Oh my God. I think I remember that.
Yeah. Good movie. Anyway, so very culturally impactful. And when we were in Chicago, like I didn't realize how much of like the architecture and like the framing of the city is like around the World's Fair that happened in the 1890s. Like, because I went there as a kid and it never hit me until I went back as an adult where I was like the hotels were built for it. Like the way like that big mall is laid out still has like architecture they built for it. Like it's
very cool.
Yeah. But anyway, it's because it's has a long storied history. A lot of important people have stayed there. There's said a lot of ghost activity there.
Yeah.
Particularly 4th and 12th floors are said to be the most haunted. But based on what I've been reading, the Gold Room too, pictured here, it's like
Did we go?
I think we walked near it. It's like the really high end bar.
Okay.
With the gilt ceiling and all that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So I think we walked.
I think we were there.
Yeah. Also seems to have a lot of activity. One in particular was Al Capone. Al Capone's ghost is said to haunt this hotel.
I would haunt that hotel.
Yeah, if you had to haunt one.
Yeah, absolutely.
One of the beautiful hotels I've ever seen.
It makes sense for Al Capone to be haunted there.
But it said during kind of like his heyday, like his prime, like 20s, 30s, he ran his headquarters there for like his criminal empire. Other people said that he owned the hotel, like informally.
Okay.
No evidence of that. People dispute that. But what is known is that he spent a lot of time there.
Yeah.
And one thing, I guess, the Valentine's Day massacre.
Yes.
Yeah. So I guess Capone was vacationing in Florida at the time, but like one of his guys, Jake Greasy Thumb Gussick.
Greasy Thumb?
Greasy Thumb. He's
Ew, dude.
He called Capone before and after the massacre from the hotel. So connections.
But
Capone said to primarily haunt the 8th floor.
Okay.
And
how many floors of the hotel?
I don't know the floors. I assume
11,000 rooms. That's got to be a lot.
11 million rooms is a lot of rooms for a hotel. Plaza Hotel, Chicago. Floors.
It's okay. You can continue. I didn't mean to derail you.
No worries. Let's see if it's an easy one. 14 floors.
Okay.
Yep. So he's said to be on the 8th floor. I guess he had one particular room. He liked a conference room that would like look out over the park or something.
He's haunting the conference room.
I don't know if it's where he haunts, but that's like where he liked to be when he was alive.
Okay.
Yeah, he just seen wandering around. I guess he's like a distinctive. Okay.
Okay. Continue.
All right, we'll move on to the next one.
Yeah.
And this one is not as much fun. A little more sad. Captain Louis Ostheim. He was there in 1900. He was a captain in the Spanish-American War, an artillery guy. Gave him PTSD, and he would have bad episodes at night. He had one when he was staying there, and he took his own life that night on his wedding night.
Oh, gee. On his wedding night?
Yeah.
My God.
Yep. So he said to haunt the room or around where he was. He shows up as like a shadowy figure, and he'll follow people around. So like guests, he'll follow staff around. And I guess he was chased by a security guard one night all the way up to the roof level.
Oh my God.
And like then disappeared at the roof level. So
whoa.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yes, they attribute the shadow figure to him. I'm not sure how, but or why, but that's one person.
Whoa.
And there's this hotel, because it's been around for so long, there's like a long list of like verified tragedies at the hotel, like people passing away or what have you. But just covering a couple of them here, just because like the list would be so long. But
yeah.
Another one is a Peg Leg Johnny.
Peg Leg.
Peg Leg. He's reported to be two different people. I think one is a lot more accurate because it seems like based in reality. So like the first one that, and I don't think it's very accurate, said to be might be a homeless person who was like killed near or in the hotel and certain of the connection. But I think it's more likely to be this
pirate.
The pirate Blackbeard actually.
His Peg Leg. Come on.
Peg Leg. He was in charge of the Black Pearl, famous boat from Lake Michigan. Are they in Michigan? Is Chicago in Michigan? Or Superior? Yeah. Okay. I don't remember which ones are which. But anyway, he's a longtime resident of the hotel. So, like lived there kind of permanently, had a wooden right leg. And then just one morning they were having breakfast and he had a heart attack and passed away. Oh. So it seems to be more likely that person.
Yeah. It's definitely that person.
Yeah. Not a bad ghost, just kind of obnoxious.
Yeah. Does he like sound really loud when he's walking around on his
you see, they hear the Peg Leg.
I love that.
He's attributed to doing just kind of like annoying stuff, like flickering lights, electrical stuff, weird noises, pulling chairs out from people when they're trying to sit down. Just more like he's like trying to get attention. It seems like more than anything.
Yeah.
Like kind of.
He sounds like a fun guy.
Yeah, I think he's just kind of like lonely and
a silly goose.
Yeah, just a silly goose. Nothing like malicious.
Yeah.
And now this one is the creepiest one to me. It's called the Hand of Mystery.
Oh.
So in the gold room, it is said that a workman like died while constructing the hotel back in the 1890s, and like got trapped in like cement or concrete or something, and it's just like buried as part of the building.
Oh my gosh!
I don't know if that's true.
Why wouldn't they take his body out?
I don't know. Like there's some sort of accident, fell in.
Oh geez.
That's what they say. But it's tied because they see in the gold room there'll be a hand that comes out of the wall.
Whoa.
Yeah, I was like, you're just like trying to have like you're on like a big family vacation in Chicago, staying in a beautiful hotel. about to like take a sip of your like your old fashioned, and like a hand comes out of the wall. You're just like
someone's like reaching for your drink.
Give me your Negroni. I want your Aperol spritz.
I like that one. Yeah. That one's crazy.
But yeah, that one's creepy to me just because like, can you imagine just like, you're just trying to sit there like a hand just comes out of nowhere. You're like, oh.
That's like almost scarier than like a full body thing. Cause you're like, I just like saw something, but like a full hand.
Yeah. Just like takes your
claw.
Your Heineken off the table. Anyway, so yeah, next one is it's a group of women. Mm-hmm. So apparently,
are any of them in white?
None are in white, confirmed. I don't think they are because they're said to be bridesmaids, and it'd be very inappropriate.
Yeah, that'd be rude.
Yeah, it's like Moira shows up to our wedding in like a white gown.
What? Okay.
Let's see. So anyway, so apparently they were said to be part of like a wedding party from the past. They'll like pose for pictures by the piano, and if you take the picture, they don't show up in the picture, and that's how you know they're ghosts.
Oh, like they're people.
Yeah,
and then
they'll be like, take our picture.
Yeah,
and you take their picture, and they don't show up.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah, that's a fun one. It's like the hand one. It's just like, kind of like it'd be like the weirdest thing that ever happened in your whole life.
Oh my God, I would love for that to happen. Yeah. That's cool.
And then to end on the last ghost, the most, I don't know, to me, it'd be like the most frustrating one. Woman of room 441. Mm-hmm. She'll like kick you awake in the middle of the night. She'll be laying in bed.
Is her name Bisbee?
Yes.
Kicking you awake in the middle of the night.
Oh, that dog. So she says, kick you awake in the middle of the night, and then she'll also like basically yell at you. And to the point where people will call down to security thinking someone's in their room because they're trying to sleep and someone keeps yelling at them to wake them up. Like, hey, I
wouldn't like call security if I thought someone was in my room. Yeah. I'd be like, I'm getting the heck out of here right now.
Then you like,
like what?
You're not peek in the closet
this
and
make
sure there's no woman
annoying.
There. Yeah. That's all. That's it for ghosts. But the last connection is to H.H. Holmes, which is why I want to do it after yours.
Okay.
Is that he is known to have loitered around the hotel lobby, like he hung out there, and it's suspected that he would search for victims in that lobby. So,
I bet he did.
Probably.
He's like, hey, there's a better hotel down the street with gas chambers and body shoots. You want to come over?
Yeah, forget this gilded, like beautiful bar. Like, we go to my murder shack.
It's a castle, okay? It's a murder castle.
Apologies.
Wow, I like that. Mm-hmm. That was a fun place that we went on our tour as well.
That was a great tour. Highly suggested.
Yes.
A lot of city history kind of intermixed with some ghost stories.
No, actual ghost stories, because my next one takes place while we were on that tour.
I'm so curious about this.
So another place that we went to on the tour, here are some pictures, is Death Alley. So this is also in Chicago, obviously.
Just for that fire?
Yes.
Okay.
It's a narrow alleyway behind I think now it's the CIBC Theater. It was formerly the Oriental Theater. And originally the Iroquois Theatre. Anyways, in downtown Chicago. Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, on December 30th of 1903, the audience in this theater had over 1,900 people, and they were attending a matinee performance of the musical Mr. Bluebeard. A stage light sparked a fire, and the curtains were highly flammable, as well as like a lot of like the scenery and the woodwork as a part of the set for this theater. Mm-hmm. And apparently, like this fire spread like very quickly, and apparently all of the fire preventative measures that were in this theater were completely inadequate. For some reason, like the exits were locked or hidden in some way where people were unable to escape. The fire escapes apparently collapsed. And it was just unfortunate carnage. Over 600 people died.
Jeez.
Making it the deadliest single building fire in U.S. history at the time.
That's wild. And it's crazy to think you said at the time, because that means presumably there's been a more deadly, like over 600 people. That's so many people.
Yeah. That's really sad.
Yeah.
So following the fire, sorry to be a downer, I swear this ends with something better. After the fire, the bodies were carried into this alleyway that I referenced. A lot of them were like temporarily laid out there for identification. this alleyway essentially became like a makeshift morgue. So over the years, there have been a lot of hauntings reported in this alleyway because of the tragedy that occurred and because of all the dead bodies that were laying in this alleyway. People have reported disembodied screams, cries for help, like from the fire, cold spots, shadowy figures moving along the alleyways. And some of the theater workers and visitors obviously claim to feel like an instant, very heavy sadness and the feeling of being watched. Like they can feel all the ghosts around them from this tragedy.
I just think, like, imagine you were like somebody like so you tripped and like hurt your leg in that alley, right? And you're like yelling for help because it's like right on a major like somebody call an ambulance, help.
Everyone like runs
and
away.
everyone's just like, poor ghost. Like, no.
They're like, no, for real. Like, my iPhone is dead.
It's okay. You can move on.
Yeah. Anyway, so this is what we visited on one of that tour. And I will say, going back to shadowy figures moving in the hallway, in the alleyway, I took a ton of pictures.
I've never seen this before, by the way. Yeah. I have no idea what she's talking about.
Yeah, you're about to get excited. Okay. I took a ton of pictures when we were there. And at the time, I thought nothing of them. They always encourage you on a tour, take lots of pictures. And they always say stuff might not be right, like show up in your picture right now, but it could always show up later. So I was going back through this episode and I was looking through all the pictures and I found something weird.
All right, let's see it.
I swear to God, this was not doctored. I will say I tried to doctor something.
You tried to I tried to fake evidence.
I tried to, because I was like, please let there be something in these photos. You know what I mean? It would be so good for the podcast. So I tried like to use AI to like doctor the image because I was going to prank you. And anyways, I couldn't figure that out. But I did legitimately find something. Maybe it's nothing, but it's worth talking about and worth showing you.
Let's see it.
So I'm going to bring this out and I'll show you guys, like I'll edit this so you guys can see it too. I took a picture of it.
Okay.
And then it was a live, like on your iPhone, it's like a live picture. So you can see what happens when like I turn the live on. So this is the alleyway. You'll have to kind of scooch in close here. So this is a picture, but if you zoom in, it's hard to tell. But do you see this like shadowy figure right there?
Yeah, kind of like
right there.
Yes, I do.
Do you see that?
Yeah.
And you see it it looks like a shadow. It doesn't look like something's there because it's like in front and a little bit translucent.
Yes, I see what you're talking about. Yep.
Do you see it? You're not like shocked by this?
Like right here?
Yeah.
I do. That's weird.
It's like, do you see this? There's like a piece of it that's like a shadowiness that you can see the wall behind it.
Yes.
Right there. And then this little like arm looking thing that's like sticking out.
Yes.
Isn't that crazy?
It is.
Watch that little like arm pokey out thing during the live video. And then it'll play twice. Did you catch it? One more time. Did you see that? Yeah. It moves.
It does. Okay, that's weird. At first I thought it might have been like, it looked like kind of like wet patches on the wall.
Yeah. It moves.
But it moves.
Joe. This is literal evidence. You see really quickly too. It's just like
yeah.
Did you see that?
That's weird.
You're not.
That's weird.
I caught literal ghost evidence. And she's like, that's weird.
That's weird. I don't know about that.
Guys, if you're watching, sorry, another break. But did you, I'll play the video one more time and I'll try to see if I can slow-mo or something. It's definitely like you see it in the picture and then it goes like, like really fast.
You're right.
So it's not a wet spot or like a stain or like, and there's no one there.
Yeah. That's weird. Yeah.
That's weird.
Yeah.
How are you not freaking out?
Weird. Yeah, I want to watch
we caught actual evidence, Joe. Yes. We did it.
We did it. We're the best. We're the best ghost hunters.
I'm serious though. Is that not one of the creepiest things you've ever seen?
That is weird. It's very weird. That's a good one.
That's actual evidence.
Okay, let's throw it up. Let's let's monetize this.
God. Do you see that it moves?
I do.
Anyways,
yeah,
I don't know.
Weird.
That blew my mind.
Because
I was trying so hard to find something and I was like, it's nothing. And I was like, what is that?
Yeah.
And then I pushed the live thing and then it freaking moved.
That's weird. It's very weird.
That's weird.
You got something there, I think.
I have no other explanation for that. In the alleyway where it said that ghosts are there. Yeah.
Yep.
Anyways,
very weird.
That's what I had. Another like side little personal story too is my family's from Chicago, if you didn't know that. And my great-grandfather.
Is that your dad's grandpa?
Yes.
Okay.
My great-grandfather and my grandfather worked, I guess, and my dad they all worked at a meatpacking plant. Here's like a picture. I'll show you. I found it on the internet. But we went to go visit it like, I don't know, 10 years ago, or actually probably more than 10 years ago now. But when we were there, we were just like checking out the building. And then my mom, I think it was, reported that she like had some like a weird smell associated to it. And like, I think my dad also smelled it and he was like, oh, that's creepy. That smell like reminds me of my grandfather.
Oh, weird.
Yeah. And I was like smelling and then they said it was gone. It was just like a flash of a smell.
Like your grandpa was there with them or something.
Something.
Weird.
But it was, now it's not like a meat packing plant. So it doesn't like smell like a meat.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Probably stopped.
But it was something, I forget what it was specifically, I should ask them, but it was some smell that was like very nostalgic and it smelled like the meat packing plant when it was like in its heyday and like my grandfather.
Oh, weird.
It's not strange.
Yeah, it was very strange, especially since your mom smelled it because she wouldn't have known.
Right.
She would have known what your grandpa smelled like.
No.
Or not smelled like, but you know what I mean? Like.
No.
Okay. She never met your grandpa?
No.
Oh, no, he died way before.
Yeah, he died way before. Yeah.
Very strange.
So anyways, that's very strange.
Yeah.
Ghost smells at the Rothschild, M. Rothschild and Sons meat packing plant. Anyways, that's what I had for today.
Cool. And these were good stories.
Yeah.
They're all good. I liked them.
Evidence,
and evidence.
Literal, we are ghost
that
hunters.
We captured, not even we just found on the internet.
No, that's
our ghost evidence.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah.
Very cool.
So let us know what you think of that evidence.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is, but it doesn't look natural to me.
Looks very strange to me.
Yep.
Confirmed ghost.
Confirmed.
Cool. Well.
Right. Next, we're not even going to try. We're just going to Google what the next state is. And we're going to be 100% certain that it's the next one in the alphabet. And then we're going to do that state.
Yep. We're going to
We're going to where? What state is next, Joe? Okay. All righty. Well, thanks for listening.
Yes. And hope you guys enjoyed the episode.
Yeah. Don't forget to stay spooky.
Ooh.
Okay, but can you believe what I actually caught? That's insane.
Super weird. Super weird.